You should understand it fully, because if it happened on your farm...
Mr Garland, please.
If it was on your farm,
Mr.
you'd
Garland.
be screaming blue bloody murder. This is totally unacceptable.
Garland.
Yes, so you've known for quite a while that you were going to use Florfenicol into the marine environment. You know that our export markets, the buyers of our fish, some of them will not tolerate any residue whatsoever in the fish that you're talking about. You've known that the cray season was opening on last Friday night. Why were the cray fishermen allowed to go spend thousands of dollars on diesel, bait, go out, set their pots, and then be told to go pull the pots back out of the water? That is totally unacceptable. Mm-hmm. You've had prior knowledge of all of this. Our cray fishermen are struggling. And for a bigger point of view, why should we as a community have to put up with residue in our water, whether you're a surfer, a fisherman, or just somebody that cares about our marine environment? This salmon industry is taking precedence over our waterways, over our health. And if you look back at the history of it, you had a mussel farmer that was shut down back in 2017. They couldn't prove it, but it was what was coming down from the salmon farms. You had our small mesh sector, 25 years, relocating seals onto our fishery. You shut us down, and now you've shut down a few crayfishermen and potentially risking our export market. Minister, when is this industry going to pull its head in and be managed and regulated properly? All the evidence is stating that it's not viable to do it in our waterway. Our waters are warming all the year. We had 16,000 tonne of dead fish last year, and I'm horrified to what's going to come this year. All the evidence is stating that you shouldn't be there, or if you are, to destock. You're not even willing to make them destock to reduce the nutrient load going into the water. This is totally unacceptable. We are an island state, and our whole culture is in and on that water. I was at a meeting on Sunday down at the Tasman Peninsula. That hall was filled. When are you going to respect the wishes and regulate this industry so it can have a bright future? Because the way it's going, it's shooting itself in the foot at every turn. That'll go, and in the process, look what's happening. Residue in our wild fish, and we're possibly risking that market.
Minister has the call.
Thanks, Chair.
Good question.
And I understand the emotion to a degree.
You should understand it fully, because if it happened on your farm...
Mr Garland, please.
If it was on your farm,
Mr.
you'd be screaming blue bloody murder. This is totally unacceptable.
Garland, please.
Sorry, Chair, I apologise.
Let the Minister answer the question, please.
When it comes to regulation that you mentioned, it is the most heavily regulated industry that exists within my portfolio. When it comes to the particular instance you have around that one block of harvest block for southern rock lobster, then we've dealt with that in previous answers. When it comes to the emergency and fairly short notice approval by an independent federal body of an off-label therapeutic, then we've dealt with that in previous answers. When it comes to the frustration that you share and the feedback that you get, and I get feedback as well, and I'm being fair dinkum here, that feedback needs to be captured. This study that we've instigated is absolutely vital, that everybody that can and should have an input into that study needs to make representation to it. It is the only way that we can gather the information, the science, the data, the subject knowledge experts from around the state. We've got some of the best and most extensive subject matter experts anywhere in the world living right here in Tasmania. This study is the opportunity. It's the opportunity for them to have their study, and it's the opportunity for us to pick their brains. What I would encourage is that we turn our emotion into providing feedback into that study, because we want a long-term viable industry that is going to be sustainable, not only for those industry providers, but also the communities that they operate near, as well as the state more generally, and our environment. And that's what I want.
And what we want is to be able to swim in our water and not have residues in our fish and not lose our export markets. And are you going to compensate these cray fishermen? Because they've lost their income now and they've spent thousands, you know. So are you going to compensate these cray fishermen for their losses? And also, you really don't understand the concern within our fishing industry with the effect this salmon industry is having. The tail is wagging the dog. It has been for a long time. And if you're not careful, Minister, we won't have a salmon industry. It's as simple as that. And you'll probably take down our wild fisheries with it as well. So, you know, it's way overdue. And I'm sorry about my emotion, but there's one thing I do care about, and that is my marine environment. It feeds me, it sustains me, and it entertains me, and it does to a lot of Tasmanians. The Aboriginal community, they're first and foremost in their mind. So, you know, the government needs to get out off its arse and regulate this industry properly. They're controlling the narrative.
Mr. Garland, I realise you're a very, very passionate man on this issue, but if you can...
It is factual.
Look, I'm not disputing, but I'm asking for language to be...
Janie, you've been back in this industry to the hilt ever since I've been in this parliament.
Order, please.
In the commercial
Order.
fishes.
Order.
Well, the salmon industry has affected him, so...
Mr. Garland.
Hasn't, we don't know that by fact.
Sorry, Rob.
Ms. Finlay, please.
You know it is.
Order.
We don't, that's why it's closed,
Ms. Finlay.
Mr. George.
Please.
There you go.
If they had science.
Oh, come on.
Ms. Finlay, please. I don't know how many times I have to say it. If I say order, I want order. Please. I am chair. Listen to me. Don't ignore me. Thank you.